How's it going, guys? This is part 2 of the two-part series talking about phone cases for the iPhone 16 series this year. Now, before we dive right in, let me catch you up to speed. The new iPhone 16 series this year introduced a new camera control button, and since this button is touch sensitive, which means that it takes in gestures like pressing on the button, sliding it up and down. So in part 1, we talk about the Clear Case from Subcase, where the case has a built-in camera control button situated on the right hand side, as you can see, and there is a physical button inside this camera control button that actually mimics the touch on the phone's actual camera control button. So like you can see right here, you can actually click the button. It actually hovers on top the button where you can actually still utilize all of these, the dials like such. So there is not a cutout on this case from Subcase. So you can check out that video, which I will link in the card above or in the description box down below. So in part 2, we'll be taking a look at another clear case. This time it is from TORRAS, where the case has a cutout around the camera control button so that you have direct access to the phone's camera control button like such. In this video, we'll talk about everything there is to know about this clear case from TORRAS, talk about the pros and cons and my overall impression. And with that being said, let's dive right in. Alright, previously we talked about the clear case from a company called Subcase, and today we'll be taking a look at another clear case from TORRAS. Now, TORRAS have highlighted these few features for their clear case of the iPhone 16 series, starting from it being MagSafe compatible with enhanced magnetic feature, X-Shock Tech military grade protection, slim grip, customizable button sets of 3, matte texture that eliminates fingerprints, and a precise cutout for the camera control button on the iPhone 16 series this year. So here is everything that came inside the box. Let's take a look. So we have the case itself, we have a warranty card or some support card, as well as these pack of buttons right here. These are actually customizable buttons, including the power button, the action button, and the volume rocker. You have a pack of white buttons as well as an orange accented button, as you can see. So the clear case by default, let me just pack this up real quick and take out the case. So this is the case from TORRAS, and by default, all of these buttons are actually transparent, as you can see right here, and I've already customized this to my liking, where my on and off button is actually replaced with a pure white button right here, and the action button on the left hand side is replaced by an orange accented button. And these buttons can actually be popped right out to change it to whatever buttons that you like based on this pack of buttons. Now let's start from the top side of the case. As you can see, behind the MagSafe, it is written, designed by TORRAS, MegaMag Boosted Magnetism. I think this means that the MagSafe ring is enhanced with a stronger magnet on the side. The edges around the phone are also much rounder as compared to the Subcase, where there is an indent this side. Okay, let's take a look again on both of these phones. You can see that the edges on the Subcase actually squarish, but compared to the TORRAS case, it is actually much rounder from all of the edges. And it seems like at the corners there are some tiny air pockets that doesn't have a protruding TPU bracket right here compared to the Subcase, as you can see. So this makes the edges to be much more rounder as compared to the case from Subcase. Now let's do a flex test on both of the sides. The sides are actually very solid, as you can see, but not very much at this camera control cutout button that we will definitely talk about. So this part is a little bit more flimsy, as you can see right here. The top and bottom side is actually also quite sturdy. Now let's take a look at all the buttons around the phone. We have the action button, the volume rocker, and these buttons are actually removable. So let's pop this out real quick and let's see if I can do it properly. So I'm gonna pop out the button right here. Right, so with the buttons popped out, not sure if you can actually see. So the button have been removed from the case. You can see that there are some sort of cutout that actually fits in the button. So there's a bracket that actually holds the button like such, and you can very easily mount it back. Right, just like that, the thing is actually mounted in right here. And all the way at the bottom, you have a subtle TORRAS logo printed right here. Now onto the other side, we have the on-off control button from the top, and the bottom is where the camera cutout is. One of the most straightforward things that you can do, which is to actually cut out the area that the camera control sits on the iPhone. And if you take a closer look, you can see that there is sort of like a guide that actually leads your hand into the camera control cutout. So each time your hand reaches out, eventually slide into the camera control button. Now, bear in mind that without any protection on the button itself, you might get some scratches if anything hits the camera control button directly, so just beware. I will come back to this camera control button a bit later. Now let's take a look at the other side of the case, and near the camera lens area, there is a big lip that you can see right here that should protect the camera lens when placing your phone downwards. And next we have a clean MagSafe ring at the back of the case, and the charging port and the speaker grills have a very nice cutout as well. Now let's put the iPhone 16 Pro into the case for a fit test. Not bad. Now onto the flex test on both sides of the video, right? As mentioned again, the camera control side is a little bit flimsy, as you can see. The top and bottom is actually pretty nice. Now with the phone attached, you can also see that there is a sort of a lip on top of the screen, so it actually protects scratches on your phone. If you were to place your phone downwards like this, there is no problem with the screen being directly in contact with the table. Now let's do a sound check for all of these buttons. So all the buttons are actually quite subtle and pretty normal as for a case. And the camera control, you get direct access, as you can see right here. And this is how your finger actually glide into the camera control, well, just like that. Now we'll take a look at the back. As mentioned earlier, the camera lenses are well protected with the lip that sits right here. So you can place down your phone in either directions, knowing that the lip on both sides actually protects the camera lens as well as the front screen. So you probably have no problems doing this or this without scratching the camera lens or the screen. And overall, a clean, clear case showing off the back of the white titanium of the iPhone 16 Pro. Now let's go back to the camera control button. If I'm being honest, after using this for about 2 weeks, I have to admit that the cutout of the camera control can be distracting at times, and I often find myself pressing the camera control button a lot more than usual. Because of the guide that happily guides my finger into the cutout, I tend to press the camera button a whole lot more. Like if I were to pick up my phone, my finger usually grips around the side of the case, completely avoiding any buttons that get in the way. And with the camera control button, it actually sort of happily guides my finger to hold it. So for example, if I were to pick up my phone, I usually hold right under the on and off switch. But sometimes my phone just slips into holding in on to the camera control button and reminding myself not to press on the camera control button. So that's just something that I have been facing for the past 2 weeks using the phone. But overall, the feel and the grip of the case is a tad bit better than the sub case. I especially like this case with the customizability, as you can give in your own twist to your phone case by popping out the buttons and replacing them pretty easily. So between these two clear cases, I honestly find myself drawn more to the case from TORRAS because of the rounded corner of the case as well as it being clearer and white. The TORRAS case actually feels way whiter and clearer compared to the sub case. I don't know if you guys can actually see, but the case from sub case actually feels a little bit more yellow, and the TORRAS case actually feels way whiter and clearer and cleaner in my opinion. So I usually gravitate towards the case from TORRAS, even though there is a built-in ring at the back of the sub case. But I kind of find this a little bit annoying because at times when you want to remove your phone, your MagSafe is usually attached to this thing, and sometimes it's just a little bit annoying. So I eventually still end up using the TORRAS case a whole lot more as my daily driver for the case. And even though the cutout, as I mentioned, is sometimes a little bit annoying, but if I'm being honest, the camera control button on the sub case is actually better since there is a physical button that you can play about, and it is just a compromise between these two phone cases that you have to consider. Now, the TORRAS case currently goes for around $25. You have a few colors to pick from, and the one shown in this video, which is clear. They also have black, titanium grey and desert titanium that kind of looks like pink. A strange thing that I saw from their website is they mentioned that there are no DIY buttons for clear color, but that seems to be not true because I got my pack of custom buttons for the clear case, so just thought to make it clear for you guys. So feel free to check out their website. They make a ton of other accessories as well. I'll leave it in the link in the description box down below. That being said, I hope this video helped you decide between these two clear cases if you are deciding to pick one of these up for your iPhone 16 Pro or any of the iPhone 16 series. So be sure to give it some thought about the camera control button situation. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment down below. I'll be sure to get back to you guys as soon as possible. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in. My name is Ken. I'll catch you all in the next one. Stay safe, peace out, and bye-bye.